President instructs to deploy a special police team to raid illegal mining across the country.
Speaker appoints committee to probe Parliament vote on supplementary estimate.
Bar Association of Sri Lanka says MPs involved in the altercation in Parliament must apologise to the nation.
Minister Arjuna Ranatunga issues a challenge.
Court rejects the request made by Yoshida Rajapaksa seeking permission to visit Uganda.
Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Manmohan Singh arrested and released during protest against BJP.
Hello there, very good evening to you. This is your prime time news bulletin on News First. I'm Saturang Hapuarachi.
And I am Dasnia Thalder. Let's start off with a look at tonight's local stories. President Maithripala Sirisena today instructed for the deployment of a special police team under the Inspector General of Police to raid illegal mining. The President provided these instructions while presiding over the progress review meeting of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau.
The progress review meeting of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau was held at the GSMB auditorium today. The President had given instructions to enforce the law to raid illegal mining across the country, which causes great harm to the environment. The President pointed out to the officials from the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau the importance of giving their assistance without any delay to successfully implement the development projects. As citizens of this country, we have a duty and responsibility to protect our natural resources. There also needs to be an institution that would appear on behalf of not only the people, but all living things, as well as the rivers, trees and earth. On one hand, we need to add more value to what we have, and on the other hand, as an institution, we need to enhance the means of generating revenue for the government so that the aspirations of establishing this institution would fulfill the scientific and technological objectives.
On to a developing story this evening. Yesterday's vote in Parliament over the supplementary estimates raised tensions in Parliament once again today.
Chief Opposition Whip Anura Kumar Dissanayake informed the Speaker today that the result of the vote cannot be accepted.
The Speaker appointed a 4-member committee headed by the opposition leader to look into the matter. The Chair MP informs the House that 33 votes were cast in favour of the supplementary estimate while 31 votes were cast against it. Later, all camera angles were inspected. The Secretary was there. There was an MP representing the government. We discussed the matter and the actual result was 31 all. 1. This supplementary estimate was not passed in Parliament.
When the
Chair announces a result, the matter is final. After Parliament was adjourned, these members visited the chamber of the Secretary and influenced him. Is this parliamentary tradition? There will be no purchases in the supplementary estimate, but a change in the deficit. Our leaders in the joint opposition and the members we reached a consensus after talking with all leaders for about 2 hours that the verdict that was given was wrong. We are disappointed that he even cannot say a name without making a mistake. Around 7 last night, while I was in Parliament, I got to know that they are reviewing the tapes of Parliament at the chamber of the Parliamentary General Secretary. I went to the chamber of the General Secretary and I was surprised at what was taking place. Around 45 to 50 MPs from the opposition had surrounded the General Secretary and pressured him to recount the vote. It was similar to when Mahinda Rajapaksa exerted pressure on the Elections Commission for a result. I appoint the opposition leader Asambandan, former Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa, the Minister of Justice, President's Counsel Dr. Vijaydas Rajapaksa and former Justice Minister Rauf Hakim to look into this vote and once again submit a report. All four members of this committee are those who voted in favour of this supplementary estimate. The opposition leader represents the opposition. One must cast the vote as per their wish. Now, as a result of the tensions that arose during the debate, the proceedings were adjourned while a party leaders' meeting was convened. As suggested, the four-member committee report that was appointed to look into this is expected to submit the report before the next sitting. We have agreed to take the required action at the next party leaders' meeting. 55 million was presented with 5 million each to 11 ministries to commence these ministries. Only that amount was debated yesterday. What was presented to the House yesterday was an accounts detail that will be presented in the future for approval. This was presented yesterday for the purpose of information. Therefore, we do not scold the members. I was also confused at first. We will present a draft regarding it in the future. Someone has to take responsibility. An inconvenience was caused. We apologize.
Indian Congress President Sonia Gandhi, Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, who were leading Save Democracy March in the national capital, were briefly detained by Delhi police. However, they were released within few minutes of detention.
The march, which was planned from Jantar Mantar to Parliament, is aimed at targeting the Bharatiya Janata Party-led central government, which has taken on the Congress over the alleged VVIP chopper scam. The Grand Old Party's rally is being held in the backdrop of imposition of President's rule in party-ruled Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh and alleged attempts to destabilize the Congress government in Himachal Pradesh. At the rally this morning, Gandhi hit out at the government, also making a direct attack on the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. The Congress demonstration was called to protest against the imposition of President's rule in two states that it governed, Arunachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. The party said the BJP is misusing its power at the centre to remove democratically elected governments in states led by the opposition.
Coming back to news from home, several members of the opposition representing the United People's Freedom Alliance, speaking to reporters today, commented on the incident that took place in Parliament yesterday.
No matter who is in the government, this was a blow to the integrity of the country as well as a parliamentary democracy. The Speaker had made a statement that he would not place his signature on the supplementary estimate as there will be a violation to it. If the Speaker signs it, before he makes an announcement, he will have to appear before the Supreme Court for a case. This we state with responsibility. Parliamentarians were punished during the past few days in violation to the standing orders. All the footage in this regard were released to the media. We call to release the footage of the fraudulent vote that took place for the first time in the country's history for the public to witness.
Lakshman Abewardena, the State Minister of Finance, speaking to reporters, elaborated on the vote that took place yesterday in Parliament.
At the time of this voting, I was supposed to give my reply speech, but we confronted an important topic before my speech. There were less parliamentarians from the government at first, but a set of parliamentarians from the opposition requested for a vote all of a sudden. During the time of the request, while counting the votes, their MPs were coming in from all doors. Some MPs came in after the count was done, but some MPs walked in when the count was only half done. This problem continued due to this situation. Because of this, the Parliament quoted today that the deficit was due to the money that was opposed to the wasteful spending allocations and were against this. This cannot be used by any means. This is 55 million rupees we announced on how we will spend this money. Therefore, we are extremely sorry about the incidents that occurred in the Parliament during the past couple of days.
මේ දින දෙක තුන ඇතුළත ඇතිවෙච්ච තත්ත්වය පිළිබඳ සැබවින්ම කනගාටුයි.
On to one of our headline-making stories today. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka says that members of Parliament involved in the recent altercation within Parliament should be expelled.
In a communique, the association says although resignation can only be within the realm of dreams, the public representatives must be called upon to apologise to the nation.
The Bar Association of Sri Lanka issued a communique this evening bearing the signature of BASL President's Counsel Jeffrey Alagaratnam over the altercation in Parliament. The communique reads that such actions shame all right-thinking people and brings the nation into ridicule. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka calls upon Parliament to swiftly enact a code of ethics and standards for its members, which is monitored by an independent body so that, where there is violation by any member, such must be visited with strict sanctions which should extend to expulsion in appropriate circumstances. The BASL notes that the best laws and codes will be ineffective unless persons of undoubted civility and integrity are elected to Parliament, and such is the responsibility of the people.
This is not the first time such incidents had taken place in the past as well. The public is compelled to helplessly observe these incidents taking place within Parliament. Therefore, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka calls for all public representatives to be given a code of conduct where their discipline will be protected. Parliament is the law-making institution of the country. If the law fails there, that is not a good thing. Public representatives must act with more responsibility.
A foundation stone was placed in Hambantota today for the construction of the 17th model village for low-income families.
The foundation stone was placed under the auspices of Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa.
හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ ආරක්ෂාව පිළිබඳ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ තර්ක විතර්ක කරගන්න.
Views were exchanged in Parliament over the security detail provided to the former president. However, the intimidators that ruled in the past decided that be it the people's government, they must not be allowed to speak. They walked into the centre of the chamber. They tried to stop the speech with their ruffian acts and intimidation. They challenged for a brawl. This is the political culture that existed for the past 9 years.
A request seeking permission for Yoshita Rajapaksa, the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, to travel overseas was rejected by the Kampala Magistrates Court today.
The request was made for Yoshita Rajapaksa to accompany the former president to Uganda on the 11th of May.
Attorneys appearing on behalf of Yoshita Rajapaksa yesterday requested court's permission for their client to accompany former President Mahinda Rajapaksa to Uganda, who will be travelling following an invitation extended by the Ugandan government. As the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division opposed this request, court decided to deny permission. Presenting facts to court today, the police FCID pointed out that even though Yoshita Rajapaksa was supposed to provide them with a statement on the 3rd, he had requested time until the 10th to do so. The FCID also noted that as he is supposed to provide them with a statement on the 10th, they opposed the request made to travel overseas on the 11th.
Former MP Sajindi Wasgunawardena convened a media briefing this evening and expressed the following views.
If one is making a statement, one must say Sajindi Wasgunawardena had done this, then I can respond to that. However, baseless statements have been made every day. What I notice is that there is a certain force doing this. There are complaints made against me with the CID and the FCID and also with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. All details since my birth have been looked into. I have provided them with everything they need. Today my accountant is at the CID. Following the investigations, if it is found that I have committed wrong, it will be taken before court. And if I am found guilty, I will be penalized. However, if such a thing has not taken place, why am I being targeted?
You mentioned a certain force. Are you referring to a person who engaged in politics with you?
Absolutely, it's a form of force.
Is it from the Mahinda Rajapaksa clan?
Yes, from his clan. However, it is not him. I must make it clear.
Is it a Rajapaksa?
Yes, you are correct.
Is it Basil Rajapaksa?
I cannot say that. I will say it when required. Be patient. I was denied nominations. That was a planned act. If you consult former Secretary of the UPFA, Susil Premachandra, he will provide an answer as to what actually happened.
Also news from the Parliament, a debate took place in Parliament today over action taken over the communications head of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. Arjuna Ranatunga, the Minister of Ports and Shipping, revealed details of the financial malpractices that took place for the opening ceremony of the Hambantota port.
What is notable is that a sum of 113 million rupees was spent on the opening ceremony of the port. The documents pertaining to this have been taken over by the internal audit.
විෂයානුබද්ධ වූ ලිපිගොනු ලේඛන අභ්‍යන්තර විගණන අංශය බාරගනු ලැබී ඇත. ඒ මූල්‍ය අනුමැති
Permission was granted by the Directress of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. Why is the Office of the Communications Head of the SLPA being sealed over this matter?
ප්‍රධානියාගේ කාර්යාලයට පමණක් සීල් තියන්නේ ඇයි? සියලුම දේ සිදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේ
All matters were done through this person. For some matters, the permission from the former SLPA chief and the board of directors was not obtained. This individual has directed the matters to the finance sector and obtained the funds. A presidential commission is probing this. All matters function through this. We cannot make a decision while the matter is being probed.
ඒ අනුව අපිට තීරණයක් අපිට ගන්න බෑ. ඒ පරීක්ෂණ තීරණය ගන්නේ නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙයි. එතකොට මේ කියන මාධ්‍යංශ
The head of the communications unit, Nalina Ponzo, was the head of the Nationalised Services Cricket Association, as the Nationalised Services Cricket Association had 2 votes for the Sri Lanka cricket elections. This individual is pressurized to cast the vote for Nishantha Ranatunga. This is being termed as revenge, as that was not done.
පලිගැනීමක් කියලා තමයි මේක හුවා දක්වන්නේ. කවුද ඒක හුවා දක්වන්නේ කිව්වොත් මම ඊටු ටික කියන්නම්. මාධ්‍යවල පළ වුණා මේ මම ඔබතුමාට
I state with responsibility that this matter is not connected to the SLC elections. That person was there. If the person who cast the vote at the SLC elections is a rogue, are you asking me to release that rogue?
හොරාව නිදාස් කරන්න කියලාද ඔබතුමා මට කියන්නේ. මේ කියන පුද්ගල
This person is threatened to vote over the phone.
දුරකථනයෙන් ඡන්දය දෙන්න ඡන්ද දුන්න නැත්නම් පලිගන්නවා කියලා අර ඔප්පු කරලා පෙන්නන්න මට.
Please prove this. You can say you can prove this. Please do not speak of matters pertaining to bookies and drug peddlers.
මෙතන මම මේ විතාමත් පොඩකින් මට මෙතන වගකීමකින් කතා කරන්න දෙන්න.
Allow me to speak. I have not answered the third question, so let me answer. If you can prove this, go to courts and file a case. Please do not speak of other persons' unnecessary matters here. I contested the elections. We all know what happened at the SLC elections. I am well aware of cricket more than you. Do not try to school me. I am aware of the cricket mafia. I know the business gang. I do not need to speak of that here. I responded to the questions that were posed.
මම අහපු ප්‍රශ්නෙට මම උත්තර දුන්නා. තමුන්නාන්සේ කුලියට එක එක්කෙනාගේ දේවල් මිරිකන්න යන්න බෑ. නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමනි මම අහපු ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තර දුන්නා.
A male body was discovered from a rubber estate in the Ethnavalla area in Varakapula, Kegol.
Our correspondent reported that the victim was identified as 17-year-old Pradeep Aryapala from Kengala in Dearbubula, located in Teldenia.
Pradeep Aryapala is the second child from a family of 3. He was employed as a technician at a private entity. His parents said he had left home with a friend on the 21st of April towards Varakapula to obtain his driving license. The other person said that they will head to his village and return. They said that they will return on the next day. When we called their mobile phones, there was no answer. That is all we know. Since the 22nd of April, there was no word of the individual, and on the 24th, his parents filed a missing persons complaint with the Teldenia police. Relatives say that the police informed them of the discovery of the body in Ethnavalla yesterday. The body was identified by the relatives and is placed at the Kegol General Hospital for further investigations.
The 7 students from the University of Caledonia arrested for ragging a freshman were further remanded until the 17th of May.
The arrested students were produced before the Chief Magistrate of Mahara, Mahinda Prabhathrana Singha, today. The students who were remanded as per the orders of the magistrate included 4 female students. The magistrate also ordered prison officials to produce the students before the psychiatrist of the Ragama Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, a group of students in the Peradeniya University staged a protest against the arrest of students of the Caledonia University in relation to the ragging incident. The students engaged in the protest, blocking one lane of the Colombo-Kandy main road at the Galaha junction. The students of the Sabaragama University too held a protest today. The students who arrived at the Pambahina junction protested, blocking one lane of the Badulla Colombo main road. The Students' Union of the Rajaratta University also engaged in a protest blocking one lane of the Anuradhapura Mihinthalaya main road.
අපි වැඩිපුරම අවධානය යොමු කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඒ එන සහෝදර සහෝදරියන්ට දැනුම දෙන වැඩසටහන් කරන එක.
We have focused our attention to carry out programs to increase the knowledge of the brothers and sisters who arrive. We accept that there are certain disadvantages in these. There is aggressive behavior and the certain backward ideas in these. This punishment has been given for using profanity. We accept that if such an incident has happened, it is wrong. You cannot get away from this through suspension. As our slogan, we say that we do not need ragging, and we also do not need acts against ragging.
නවක වදයත් එපා වදක පනතත් එපා.
Court refused bail to an individual who is said to have made death threats against the President and the Prime Minister via social media platforms. The suspect was produced before Colombo Additional Magistrate Nishantha Piris today.
The Criminal Investigations Division said the investigation will be interrupted if the suspect was granted bail. The magistrate also ordered for the suspect's mobile phone and other accessories to be directed to the University of Colombo School of Computing to obtain a report. The magistrate ordered to remand the suspect until the 20th of this month. The Asia Shipping Conference 2016, titled Emerging Trends in Shipping and Logistics, Asia Connects, organised by the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, or WISTA, and the Ceylon Association of Shipping Agents, or CASA, was held in Colombo today. Newsfirst was the official electronic media sponsor for the event.
The event was held under the auspices of Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Harsha De Silva.
You need to have the right kind of policies. Without the right kind of policies, however much you slog, you are not going to make your objectives. You can't meet your targets. Sri Lanka has become one of the most protectionist economies in the world. You may look at me and say, what are you talking about? We've been marketing ourselves as one of the most open economies in the world. Now what that means is, as a government, yes, we've had fairly reasonable duties and levies, but we have on the sly in the last so many years increased what are called non-tariff barriers. For instance, port and airport levy is a non-tariff barrier that gets on your customs duties. So what that means is, while the customs duties stay the same on paper, there are others that have crept in and created what you call protectionist, a greater protectionist operation.
On to some sports news now. The Commonwealth Sports Conference for the Asian Region Summit took place today under the auspices of the Minister of Sports, Dayasiri Jayasekara.
The Asian Region Summit of the Commonwealth Games Federation, headed by President Louis Martin, was held in Colombo today. The summit saw the participation of heads of institutions of 8 member countries that belong to the Asian region.
We had problems with the Ministry of Sports, Olympic Committee for last predecessor's time, not in last regime. Actually, now we have a very close relationship and we are working together. And in 2018, we are trying our best to keep the momentum and many medals in many events that we are focusing on. Your support is also available for all of these countries.
And we're going towards 2022. The target date for our strategic plan is impactful, it's ambitious, but I'm convinced that we will get there. Together, we truly want to realise the potential of connecting athletes with communities through our games, our youth games, our activities and our actions. And today is an important day for that journey, because by the time we finish today, I want to make sure everybody is on the same page, that we're all moving in the same direction and we're all working together.
This is the first time that a meeting of this nature is being hosted here in Colombo. This is a very important meeting for Sri Lanka, as it not only gave us an insight to what games would take place in the future, but also gave us an opportunity to discuss the constitution of the Commonwealth, which is currently subject to change. We were also given the opportunity to discuss the maximum possible victories Sri Lanka could achieve at the upcoming Commonwealth Games.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I am Dasani Athauda.
I'm Saturanga Puarachi. Take care of yourself. Good night.